All right, y'all. It is time to take your calls, and we're going to go to Columbia, Missouri with Ashley. Hey, Ashley, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay, so I am a single mom here in Columbia, Missouri, the state. So I've got all the responsibility with my 2 kids, all their activities at school, things like that. But on top of that, I'm also the head of a department for a mortgage company here, which also comes with its own full set of responsibilities and projects that I'm responsible for that sometimes keep me up until 10, 11 o'clock at night, depending on when I leave the office, leave to go do things for kids, things like that. And I am struggling to balance all of that to keep caught up. I'm behind at work. I feel like I'm behind with my kids. Like I'm behind everywhere.
Yeah.
And I'm just struggling to try to fit everything in and still maintain a good relationship with my kids, but also keep my job at the same time.
Yeah, for sure. How old are your kids?
I have a 13-year-old and a 6-year-old.
Okay. All right. And do you have any help? Is there dad in the picture? Do you have any other type of childcare? What does that look like?
Yeah, he's in the picture, and he helps a little bit when he can. He also has a full-time job as well.
Right.
But I have the kids the majority of the time. And then childcare, my daughter goes to an after-school program. My son comes home. He's 13. He come home. But that's what that looks like.
Gotcha. I saw a quote on Instagram a long time ago, and it just, I think, rings true for so many people. And it said this: we expect women to work like they don't have children and raise children like they don't work. And I think we all feel that in some capacity, but you feel it more, Ashley, and you feel it because you're working after traditional hours, and that is making you feel like it is invading your life, because it is, and because you're a single mom. And so you are carrying so much more of the load than someone else is who's splitting the responsibilities more evenly. Here, let's get tactical with this a little bit. I want to get tactical, and then I want to talk about the more emotional side of it that you have more control over than you realize. But let's talk about the tactical. What would it look like to, or is it possible, you tell me, to set some boundaries around those working hours, to communicate what your capacities are and say, hey, like, I can't take any more on my plate. I'm going to need some help. Like, I think that a lot of times jobs can just burn you out because they're just going to give you as much as you're willing to take until you throw a flag. So what options do you have there, if any?
I think I have probably more options than I take advantage of there. I will say my company's been fantastic for all of this, and they're trying to help. So I think I have options there. If I put my foot down, I don't even think it would require putting my foot down. If I just tell them I can't do this.
Yeah. How long have you been there?
Almost 9 years.
Okay, so you've got a good relationship there, Ashley. They
good.
know you, they love you, they want to take care of you, and sometimes, I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes we just want to be the hero. We don't want to ask for help. We're like, I can do it all. Yes, I can do it all. I can be a mom and do the job and do the after art. Yes, I can. And the reality is we just don't need to try to be the hero, because the only person suffering is you. You know what I mean? Like, you're the one suffering. Your job is never going to say, hey, you should slow down. You should take on less work. You should have some boundaries and be off at 5 o'clock. They're never going to do that. No company ever would, by the way. They're going to give you as much as you're willing to take. So the first tactical is that job piece of what would it look like to give you some off time where you're off and you're really off. You're able to shut it down, be present with your kids, enjoy your life, be present, and not feel like you're always having to be on and available. I think that's a huge step, because you're not a doctor that's on call 24/7, so you shouldn't have to live like that, if at all possible, within reason at your job, with your team, with your leaders, and so on. So I think the first tactical step is for you to communicate that to them. Say, hey, I'm feeling the strain of this after hours. The projects are more than I can keep up with in working hours, and I think we need to pull back my workload to what I can actually accomplish in working hours so that I can be off at the end of the day. I think that's the first tactical. The second piece of it is, I don't know, let me think about how to say this. I would think about, what is the time with your kids that is the most valuable to you, highest quality, most life-giving, best bonding. Like, think through that. If you're like me, at least, running my kids from one errand to the next is not life-giving. Like, it's just going through the motions. So what I think may be good, while some things we have to do, we have to run the errands, we have to keep all that going. You may be doing a lot of that, but not feeling like, gosh, I don't have any good time with my kids. What would it look like to carve out, block, plan good time with your kids where you're like, hey, we're going to swing through Subway, grab a sandwich, go have a picnic at the park and just hang out together. Or we're going to fill in the blank with whatever's fun to you. Where you begin to block time on your calendar for family fun, good quality time. And then you feel like you're actually getting to experience your kids. So on the tactical work side, I think there's a piece of it of setting boundaries, offloading some of these projects, setting some boundaries around your work hours, getting help, whatever that looks like. And then in family time, I think that for you to carve out, create actual quality time that makes you feel filled up with them and bonded with them is going to help relieve some of that. Now that we've covered the tactical, I want to cover the emotional piece of it, okay? I found in my life, and this was years ago, Ashley, I found that so much of my guilt came from focusing on where I was not. So when I was at work, I was thinking about my kids. Are they okay? Did I miss field day? Did I forget their snack? Am I a bad mom? Are they sick? Do they need me? Then I would go home and I would open my computer and check my phone and scroll social media and keep up with emails and, oh, I forgot that project and, oh, I need to respond to that meeting request and, oh, I need to have that conversation with that person. I was always thinking about work. So when I was at home, I was thinking about work. When I was at work, I was thinking about home. I was always focused on where I was not. So let's acknowledge that if you live your whole life this way, of course you feel guilty. Of course you feel like you're failing because you're only and always focusing on where you're not. So the emotional piece of this, the mental piece of this that you are in control of, Ashley, is flipping your focus. And as ruthless as this seems, I do this. I flip a switch in my mind. When I drive out of my driveway, I flip a switch and go, I'm in work mode. And that allows me to focus on what is in front of me. When I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm at home, I'm at home. Where you can be where your feet are. Wherever you are, be there. Focus on what's in front of you, but it's not going to just help you focus on what's in front of you. Be productive, be efficient, be present, be proud. It is going to help you shake the guilt for where you're not. Right now, I'm on this call with you, Ashley. I have no idea what my kids are doing. I'm sure they're fine. I've got them taken care of. They've got school. They've got activities. We've got help. My husband's, they're doing something just like you. When you're at work, your kids are at school, your kids are in aftercare, your kids are taken care of. So I just want to give you permission to flip your focus. Instead of living your whole life looking through the rearview mirror of what you're leaving behind, I want you to flip your focus and look through the front windshield of where you are. Wherever you are, be there. And that simple practice, and it's a practice. It's something you have to do again and again and again and remind yourself of. Flip your focus to be where you are. The more that you do that, the more you will shake the guilt because you're no longer focusing on where you're not and what you're not doing and what you're not getting to on your to-do list. You're going to focus on where you are and what you are doing. I am so excited to be on this call with you. You're going to focus on your to-do list of the things you did do, not the things you didn't get to. You're going to focus on what you're doing right, not what you perceive you're doing wrong. And so that simple mental flip of your focus, I think, will help you in addition to the tactical. But I just want to encourage you, and this is the last thing I'll say, Ashley. I'll try not to go on my soapbox about this. I am the child of a single mom. And so often growing up, I know that she felt guilty. Felt guilty because she felt like she couldn't do enough or she was working or this, that, and the other. I was with her early mornings when we'd go to the cake shop for her to bake. I remember getting a flat tire in the rain. I remember all these less than Pinterest perfect moments in my childhood. And while those were moments that she probably felt guilty about at the time, I want you to know that me, now being a grown woman, child of a single mom, I did not make it in life despite the struggle. I made it because of it. I am who I am because of my mother. And she's my hero. And you're going to be your kid's hero. And you're doing a whole lot better than you think you are. They're going to remember the good. They're going to remember what a fighter you are. They're going to remember how you took care of them, how you showed up, how you worked so hard. That's what they're going to remember. And so if they are going to focus on that, maybe not now, they will later for sure. If they're going to focus on that, you have permission to focus on that too. You're doing better than you think. Thanks so much for calling, and I hope this helps, and I hope those tactical steps help relieve some of the pressure you've been feeling so you can take a deep breath in your busy life. Thanks for calling, Ashley.